Nostalgia is a powerful tool. As Hollywood increasingly relies on the franchises of yesteryear, studios have capitalized on fan affection by bringing back treasured characters from across the fiction landscape. This has led to the familiar faces of actors returning to iconic roles, often through endless sequels or spin-offs. While this pattern is predictable in many cases, there are instances where a beloved character is brought back to life after years of absence, which sparks a powerful sense of excitement among audiences. These returns aren't always planned out ahead of time, and some actors find themselves reprising iconic roles after long stints away, often years after their original debut. These returns are usually accompanied by tremendous fanfare, as the passage of time builds anticipation, proving that good things, like nostalgic returns, are all the more satisfying after a long wait. 10. Claudia Wells. The Back to the Future trilogy was one of the most enduring cinematic legacies, and for the most part, the cast remained consistent throughout. However, one major exception to this continuity was Jennifer Parker, Marty McFly's girlfriend. In the 1985 original film, Jennifer was played by Claudia Wells, whose charm and warmth provided an essential grounding contrast to the zany, time-traveling antics around her. Sadly, after the success of the first film, Wells had to step away from the role due to her mother's cancer diagnosis. Elizabeth Shue replaced her in Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3, and that appeared to be the final word on Jennifer. That is until 2010, when Back to the Future. The game came out. This episodic game allowed fans to relive the time-traveling exploits of Marty and Jennifer, and much to their delight, Wells returned to voice her character. But this time, Jennifer was reimagined as a punk rock anarchist, an unexpected shift that provided a perfect juxtaposition to the Jennifer fans remembered. This return was a full-circle moment for many Back to the Future fans, as it allowed them to reconnect with an original character in a way that felt both nostalgic and fresh. 9. Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy's portrayal of Spock in the Star Trek franchise was more than iconic. It became a defining aspect of science fiction cinema. For decades, Nimoy played the logical, emotionally reserved Vulcan officer who, despite his attempts at suppressing his emotions, had a deep humanity at his core. After many years, it seemed that Spock's time in the Star Trek franchise had come to a close in 1993. However, Star Trek had other plans. In 2009, the Star Trek franchise was rebooted, and Nimoy was brought back to the fold in a pivotal role. The new film featured a reimagined cast, but Nimoy returned to play the older version of Spock. His character helped guide the new crew and bridge the gap between the original Star Trek timeline and the alternate universe created in the film. The decision to bring Nimoy back wasn't just a nod to longtime fans, but a symbolic passing of the torch to the new generation of Star Trek enthusiasts, and it resonated deeply with audiences who had grown up watching him in the role. 8. Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford has long been known for his portrayals of Han Solo in Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Both of these roles helped define Ford's career and cemented his place in Hollywood history. After playing Han Solo in Star Wars: A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, Ford appeared to be done with the franchise. That is, until Star Wars: The Force Awakens in 2015, when he returned as the iconic space smuggler for a pivotal role in the new trilogy. Ford's return was met with both excitement and nostalgia, as it allowed fans to see a now older Han Solo come full circle. Similarly, Ford's return to the Indiana Jones franchise wasn't expected, especially after Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade in 1989, which seemed like a fitting conclusion to the series. But Ford came back for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in 2008, and once again in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny in 2023, showing that his sense of adventure and swashbuckling spirit were still very much alive. His return to Blade Runner in Blade Runner 2049 in 2017 provided another moment of fan joy, as it saw him reprise the role of Rick Deckard in a dystopian world years after the original film. 7. Linda Hamilton. Few actresses have left an imprint on the action genre like Linda Hamilton's portrayal of Sarah Connor in The Terminator and Terminator 2: Judgment Day. Her evolution from an innocent woman to a battle-hardened protector of her son was one of the most compelling arcs in the series, with Hamilton bringing an intense and grounded emotionality to the character. Unfortunately, after Terminator 2, Sarah Connor's storyline took a back seat in subsequent films, and the character was portrayed by other actresses. However, in 2019, Terminator Dark Fate brought Sarah Connor back with Linda Hamilton, reprising the role. This time, the film's narrative took the character into a new era, and Hamilton's presence in the film was a reminder of the impact she had made in the franchise. Her return was not only a treat for longtime fans but also added a layer of gravitas to a film that reintroduced Terminator to modern audiences. 6. Michael Keaton. Few actors have had such a storied history of revisiting iconic roles as Michael Keaton. Keaton's turn as Batman in 1989 and Batman Returns in 1992 redefined the character in film, with his dark, brooding portrayal influencing subsequent iterations. Despite Batman's enduring popularity, Keaton didn't return to the role for nearly 3 decades. That changed when he reprised the character in The Flash in 2023, which explored the multiverse and allowed Keaton to once again don the cape and cowl. This return allowed the actor to revisit his version of The Dark Knight, while also embracing the opportunity to pass the mantle on to a new generation of heroes. Keaton's other big return came in the form of Beetlejuice in 2024, a long-awaited sequel to the 1988 classic, where Keaton brought his chaotic, eccentric energy back to the screen. These 2 returns showcased Keaton's versatility, showing that despite the decades-long gaps between roles, his iconic characters were still very much alive in the public's consciousness. 5. Stephanie Nadolny. As the English voice of Goku in the Dragon Ball Z series, Stephanie Nadolny made an indelible mark on anime fandom. Her portrayal of the youthful, energetic fighter helped define Goku's character for an entire generation of fans. Nadolny's voice work spanned across multiple Dragon Ball series, but after Dragon Ball Z Kai recast her role in 2010, it seemed like Nadolny's time in the franchise had come to an end. That is, until Dragon Ball Daima in 2024, a new series that turned the characters back into children. For this tribute to the franchise's legacy, Nadolny returned to voice Goku once again, delighting longtime fans who had grown up with her portrayal. Her return wasn't just a nostalgia trip. It was a poignant acknowledgement of her important role in shaping the franchise's English language identity. 4. Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes' portrayal of Blade, the vampire-hunting daywalker, was a pivotal moment in superhero cinema. The original Blade, 1998, helped establish the modern superhero film genre, and Snipes' performance became iconic. However, after the decline of the series and legal troubles, Snipes' Blade seemed destined for the past. Fans were surprised when, in Deadpool 3, 2024, Snipes returned to his role, bringing a new level of depth and humor to the character. His return was especially significant as it offered closure to a character who had been sidelined by the changing landscape of Hollywood superhero films, marking a triumphant return to a role he had helped shape. 3. Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe's performance as Green Goblin in Spider-Man 2002 set the bar for comic book villains, blending menace with vulnerability in a way few others had. When Spider-Man No Way Home 2021 brought together the villains from multiple universes, it was only fitting that Dafoe's Green Goblin would return to menace a new generation of web-slingers. Despite the nearly 2-decade gap, Dafoe slipped back into the role with ease, reminding audiences of the iconic nature of his performance. His return was not just a treat for Spider-Man fans, but also a masterclass in how to reprise a beloved role with depth and authenticity. 2. Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters franchise has been a beloved part of pop culture since 1984, and the return of the original team, Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson, was highly anticipated by fans. After the success of Ghostbusters 1984 and Ghostbusters II 1989, the original team reunited for Ghostbusters, the video game, 2009, which allowed fans to experience the fun and adventure with the original cast. However, it was the 2021 film Ghostbusters Afterlife that truly captured the heart of the franchise, reuniting the living members of the original team and acknowledging the passing of Ramis in a powerful and emotional tribute. 1. Mark Hamill. Finally, no discussion of iconic actor returns would be complete without Mark Hamill's portrayal of Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. Hamill's journey from a young, idealistic Jedi to an older, more cynical version of his character was one of the most poignant elements of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. His return in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi was eagerly anticipated, and his role became a touchstone for the emotional arcs of both old and new characters. Even after his passing in the story, Hamill's return in The Mandalorian 2020, in a special cameo, revealed just how much of an impact the character of Luke Skywalker and Hamill's portrayal of him had on generations of fans. His return to the role for a final chapter in the franchise was a symbol of the enduring legacy of Star Wars. By the way, if there's any topic in this video that catches your eye, just comment down below and let me know if you want me to make a separate video on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Wow, you guys have made it till the end of the video. And remember, according to YouTube, the best way to help the channel in the algorithm is to watch another one of my videos right after this one. So go ahead and check it out. Thanks for sticking around. See you soon. Until then, peace.